Hi, Jeannie and Tisha. My parents had mentioned that you might want some more information on the 2 new additions to our family. And so I wanted to do a video. I thought it would be easier to provide you information on our process, my thoughts about both breeders, and also so you can see the dogs live in action. So when we first started this journey, my husband really wanted a red toy poodle. Apparently, red poodles are a hot commodity and there's quite a waiting list for them. And we had reached out to a few different breeders, and my mom had given me Rennie's information a while back, and I went to her website and I wasn't very impressed because it didn't look very professional, and I snubbed at it. But don't let that deter you, because after having conversations with her, getting to know her and her process, she is very professional. She's been doing this for a really long time, so don't let that deter you. Her website is poodles.com, and her phone number is 909-273-0995. Normally, she's living in California. However, she has temporarily moved to Las Vegas to take care of her dad. And her breeding dogs are in different places in the United States. Remy came from Texas. So her process is, you have a conversation with her, you talk about kind of what you're looking for, male, female, weight. What is your experience with poodles? She asks a lot of questions. I think I was on the phone with her the first time for about an hour. And we were just talking about the poodles that we've had, what we're looking for in a dog, what kind of personality we want, what our lifestyle is, things of that nature. So we paid her the deposit. She has a $300 deposit, and we were on the waiting list. We were on the waiting list for a really long time, and I would reach out to her occasionally to see where we were on the list, what's going on, and she would say, I'm sorry, this, that. And it came to about September. I was like, man, because we had originally reached out to her in the early summer of 2020, and it was September, still nothing. I was like, man, this is a long list. So reached out to her again, and she called me back, and she said, well, I don't have any dogs for you right now. It's gonna be a while. However, I have a breeder friend, Judy, who had all of her dogs are from my stock, my pool of poodles, and maybe you'd be interested in a dog from her. In fact, she has a little dog, a little brown dog, who it fell through. The adoption fell through. And Judy is in Idaho, and her website is Azizi Toy Poodles. That's AZIZI toypoodles.com. Her phone number is 208-377-2220. And she said, are you interested? It's gonna be a chocolate dog, but you had told me originally that maybe you want 2 poodles eventually, so is this something that you're interested in? Here's her information. I reached out to Judy. Judy's process is very long. She will ask of you to speak to your vet. She'll ask to speak to your groomer, and she'll request 3 references, personal references from you. And she does call them. And she does encourage you to reach out to her past people who have purchased puppies from her. She has a list that she'll provide you, and I reached out to them because I was interested in seeing kind of what her dogs were like as adults. So I reached out to a couple of them, had great conversations, and I was excited to see our new little baby. So we paid a deposit for her for Rouie as well, and that was $300. And the full price of our chocolate poodle that we got was $2,000. And this is her. Don't mind the shagginess because they haven't been professionally groomed. So they look a little hairy. But this is Miss Rouie. She's our chocolate chewy. And she was born in September, and she is going to be probably about 5 or 6 pounds. So after we paid our deposit, after we paid our full price, we had our interviews. She reached out to our references and our groomer and our vet. She felt really confident. She was really excited. She felt like this was a great match. And there were 2 options in retrieving our dog. We could either A, drive up to Idaho and drive back, or we could pay to have a stewardess from Southwest take our dog from Idaho to Las Vegas. So there's different fees for different parts of the country, but we paid $500 to have them flown. And so they fly up top. They're not in the bottom of the plane. They're in a little carrier. And we met the dog nanny for Rouelle in the baggage claim of the airport. So the dog nannies take Venmo, or if you have Zelle or QuickPay, that's how we paid them. Or check. They also take check. And they come out and they give you like a little goodie bag with some puppy food and some toys, and we were on our way. I will tell you that Judy is in communication with you this entire time. Also, the dog nanny is in communication. You're on a group text, and there's pictures, and you're part of the process from the very beginning. So even though you might feel that there's a lot of work with getting one of Judy's dogs, at the time I felt I was a little overwhelmed, and I felt, oh my gosh, this is so much. I've never given this much information or spent this much time, but really looking back on the process, that's how I would prefer it, because she cares where her dogs go. She wants to know that they're going to good homes. She wants to know what their life is going to be like, and she will reach out to you even afterwards. I've talked to her a couple of times. I've sent her pictures of Rouelle and Remy together. So I'll tell you that it does feel like kind of a lot of work and a lot of paperwork, but I think there's a method to the madness, and looking back on it, the reason is because she cares where her dogs go, and she's very hands-on with them. When we got Rouelle home, she's had very little accidents in the house. She has had a couple of them were our fault, but she's very smart. She's always watching. She's always curious about what's going on, and her personality is funny. Judy said that the chocolate poodles are the comedians of the poodle family. I don't know what colors of poodles you've had in the past, but I will say that is true to her personality. She is very funny. She's not prissy. She's not afraid to get outside, get dirty, run around. In the past, I have had black teacup poodles. I don't know, and toy poodles. I don't know if you remember Emmy, but very prissy, and our prior poodle, Annie, was much the same. These 2 are not like that at all. Rouelle is hilarious. She's very playful. She's smart. She does tend to stick to one person. I guess I'm her person. But so that's kind of my experience with Judy and with Miss Rouelle. They were outside playing, so it's nap time right now. But so this is Rouelle. She's very, very, very cute. and we love her very much. So we got Rouelle. We were like, oh, okay, well, we won't get another dog for like a year. That's what we thought. And we got a call a month later from Remy saying, hey, there's a dog that I have there's a puppy that I have out in Texas, and the purchase fell through with her because I guess they thought that she was going to be too small or too big. I don't remember, but they didn't want her. And so Rennie reached out to me and said, I think that would be like a good match, you know, for Rouelle. So how about you take Miss Remy? We said, okay. Again, our options were to drive to Texas or to have a dog nanny. So we had a dog nanny. This one was more expensive, and I don't remember how much, but it was more than $500. And her dogs, depending on, you know, sex and size, are more expensive. I think Remy was $2,200. So this is Miss Remy Martin. So Remy is going to be maybe 6 to 7 pounds. She is our eater in our family. So she is on her way there, but she is also very smart. She's also very eager to please, but she's very food motivated, which Rouelle could care less about food. So those are our 2 dogs, and that's kind of our story about the 2 different breeders and how we got 2 dogs so close together. Again, for the red poodle, that was Rennie's Red Poodles. Her website is poodles.com, and her phone number is 909-273-0995. That's for Remy Red Poodles and toy poodles. Her daughter breeds red miniature poodles. And then for our chocolate chewy, Miss Rouelle, that was from Judy's Azizi Poodles, and that's azizitoypoodles.com, AZIZI, and her phone number is 208-377-2220, and all of her dogs came from Rennie, and she has chocolate, red, and apricot, and black, but she specializes in the chocolate. Dark chocolate, I think is what they really call them. But anyway, I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and if you have any questions, just let my parents know. They watch them quite a bit because Shane and I work from home, and in order to make sure that they're properly potty trained, socialized, and everything, they go to poodle camp a couple times a week instead of a daycare. We don't have children, so instead of daycare, we have dogs that go to grandma and grandpa's. So anyway, guys, I hope you are staying well, and I hope you guys get a new baby.